What's up, everybody? I'm back for another episode of the PG Sports Podcast. Our special guest today is MLB pitcher Edwin Jackson. What's up? How's it going?
See everybody on you to shave, man. We all got to shave. I'm just letting it go.
That's
I'm
up.
letting it go.
How am I right now? Am I blurry or no?
No, I can see you.
All right, cool. How's everything going?
Man, I can't complain. At home being a teacher, homeschooling. Much
Yeah,
respect to the teachers.
yeah. How's that?
And it's a process, man. You know, those kids, they don't react to us like they react to the teachers at home. It's all complaining and everything. At school, zero complaints, and they go ahead and do everything they have to do.
Yeah, I feel you. What about just going into like the coronavirus and stuff like that? How have you been like training?
Man, back to the basics. Water jugs, kids, swimming pools, um, weights, small weights, bands. It's like the CrossFit type workouts, man. Do whatever you can do. I call it jailhouse workouts, but I mean, you just have to keep your body active at the end of the day. Obviously, you're not gonna have the strength like you're gonna have if you're in a gym lifting heavy weights, but unless you have a weight room in your house. But I mean, the cardiovascular part of it and the endurance part of it, you can keep that going.
Yeah, definitely. How many kids do you have?
3, 8, 6, and 2. So it's nonstop around here.
I gotcha. I don't know. Did you see like the comments Blake Snell made?
Yeah, I seen that. Somebody showed it to me the other day.
So you
Um,
want to tell me how you?
Man, I mean, I can't blame him. I can't blame him for saying that, man. I mean, players want to get paid. You know, they work hard to earn the money that they've earned. And they want it. You know, I can't blame them for feeling like that for sure. Um, I'm sure it's a lot of other people that feel the same way that probably haven't said anything, but I know from a fan's perspective, or if somebody's outside the game, they're gonna look at it a little differently than the person that's inside the game. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously it's still a lot of money that's being made, but when dudes feel like they went out there and sacrificed a lot to be able to earn that finally big payday, they want it. You want that payday.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Um, yeah. What are your thoughts of like what do you want? Do you want to have the season, or you just want to just like focus on 2021?
Oh man, I mean, obviously we want to play, man. We want to get on the field. We've been training like that. We're right at the end of spring training, but everything is gonna have to be it's gonna have to be spot on from both sides. There's gonna have to be an agreement from both sides. I'm sure it's not one person that doesn't want to go play. Everybody want to go play, but we have to make sure that everything is an agreement on both sides, and both sides have to be happy to go in and be able to play under the circumstances that we come to an agreement with.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Now I know you've been on a record 14 MLB teams.
That's
You
it.
s- uh,
That's it.
thought you froze on me for a second, but yeah, what's it just been like? You basically are on the move like every year.
Man, I'm a military brat. I'm used to being on the move. It's like it was predestined. That's all I know is being on the move. But I mean, me being me, I'm a personable guy, man. I ain't hard to get along with. I pretty much know half of the league, so there's
Yeah,
somebody on every team that I play with or cross paths with. I'm cool with through another mutual friend. So that aspect of it, it's not hard, man. Going into a clubhouse and meshing in with a group of guys that's already in there. I mean, I ain't over the top already as it is, so I ain't going in there trying to make myself be seen, but still going in there with a veteran presence and the leadership skills that I possess at the same time. So
yeah,
um, I just want to play. I don't really care where I be. I know I done bounced around a little bit, but at the end of the day, you ask anybody in any clubhouse I've been in, I'm coming ready to play regardless of the results.
yeah. You probably have the biggest network in the MLB.
Man, pipeline to everybody. I'm the plug in baseball to everybody, you know.
Yeah, definitely. What about like how do you pick out? Or actually, most of the time you wear like 36, right?
When is there?
Yeah.
When
Why,
is
why
there?
Well, why do you pick 36?
That was the number that was given to me when I was
Yeah.
with the Dodgers. 36 was my original number, and it was given to me because of Don Newcomb. Don Newcomb wore 36 for the Dodgers, so being an African American pitcher, when I came over with the Dodgers, they gave me that number in honor of him. So that's the number that I try to get when it's available, just because that's the number that I had starting off. But I mean, I've had 36, 33. I've had probably 58, 22. It's like a lottery, man. One day I may play the lottery with all the numbers I done had on jerseys.
Yeah. Yeah, that's dope though, the 36 story. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
You get do you have like are you a jersey guy? Like you keep them all? You got them hung up?
man, I got them all. They all not hung up. They in a lot of baseball bags right now. I got some hung up in the closet, but man, there's so many baseball bags here that and stuff that I have to go through and unload that I probably won't do it honestly until I retire. It'll give me something to do to go back and go through all the bags, and it'll kind of rekindle the memories. And
Yeah.
from every team that I've had, I'm sure it's going to be a lot of stories through all the bags that I go through. But
Yeah.
man, I'm like the house of jerseys over here.
What about I don't think I ever asked I haven't had that many baseball players on, but like how many like hats and jerseys do you go through like a year per season?
Ah, man, hats. It depends on grow my hair out sometimes. Sometimes I cut it. Every time you see me, I probably got a different hairstyle, depending on the phase I'm going through. I would say in the season, I probably go through 4 or 5 hats, which if you ask some people, that's probably not a lot given
Yeah.
the circumstances. You got some people probably switching hats every game. Jerseys, jerseys just depends, man. Sometimes they take jerseys for different
Yeah.
different marks that you hit. Say for instance, like if I when I pitched with Toronto, it was the 14th team. They take that jersey. So
Yeah.
when you hit different milestones, sometimes baseball takes your jerseys and do things with them. But I don't go through a lot of stuff, man. I'm pretty low key. I like to keep my stuff around,
Yeah.
unless it's a reason for me to take it and do something with it.
Yeah, definitely. What about this might be a hard one, but what's been like your favorite jersey? Like looks wise?
Man, all of them. I mean, a lot of the jerseys are throwbacks, man. It was fun to put on a Braves jersey though, being from Georgia, being a
Oh,
Georgia boy, and watching the Braves. It was fun to put on a Braves jersey and play in front of a home crowd. I'm not from Atlanta, but from surrounding. I'm from Columbus, but it's an hour and a half away, so people could come up whenever they want. I mean, that's the state team, so being able to put on that Braves jersey.
yeah.
It felt pretty good doing that, watching Chipper and Andrew Jones growing up, and now I got a jersey that they wore and playing in Atlanta.
Yeah. Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, going back in time, I know you got drafted out of high school. Like what was your decision to go straight to, the pros minors, instead of like going to college?
Man, I mean, it was all right. Listen here, I got drafted. I wasn't expecting to get drafted, so I didn't know I was getting drafted. It was kind of a out of the blue type thing. So I'm like, all right, I can go to school, I can have an education, and I can play to get redrafted. Or I can start a career right now, still have my school paid for. If it doesn't work out, I can always go back to school. And that was kind of my thought process. I'm like, hey, people come out of high school and they go to the army. People come out of high school and they go to different fields, whether their parents have a job. So why not get a head start on a career while I have a chance? You can go to college, you can get hurt. Worst case, college has always been something I could fall back on, being that baseball paid for 3 years of college pretty much anywhere I wanted to go. So that was my outlook on it. I can always have college as a safety valve if I want to go back to school and to go ahead and get started on a career.
Yeah. Yeah. What about, yeah, what colleges were looking at you?
I wasn't even highly drafted, man. That's the crazy thing. I was either going, I went from Alabama State, which is in the SWAC, to Alabama A&M, which is in the SWAC, and I committed to Alabama A&M verbally, and then at the end of the season, UAB came in, which was Conference USA. That was my best offer. Uh, Conference
That's
USA.
great.
I wasn't good enough to go to all the big D1 schools that a lot of people got scouted to or were committed to. I was going to UAB, but I mean, I was good enough to get drafted in the 6th round. So it all came around in full circle. I never stopped believing where I was going. But had I went to either one of those schools, I feel like I was going to do what I had to do to get where I wanted to get, though.
Yeah. What about, do you think it was like, if it was like nowadays, you think you would have been like recruited more just because of like, you know, social media, the internet, all that?
It's hard to say, man. I didn't start to my senior year, so it's hard to say. I had 1 year. I mean, I had the skills. I feel like I had the skills to start before that, but I didn't. I never complained about it. You know, I took it in stride, and when it was my time to shine, I took advantage of it. I had a couple teammates, Steven Register and Nick Long. They were highly scouted, so I took advantage of them being scouted and kind of put myself out there. You know, just go play and go ball and let whatever happen happens. But I mean, I have fun. Like I said, I have no regrets, and I wasn't worried about being highly drafted or highly scouted. I just wanted to go play, and that's
Yeah.
probably how I got to the point where I am now.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, you skyrocketed anyways. You only were in the minor leagues for like 2 seasons, then you got to the majors. What was that? What was the minor leagues like? Because I know obviously it's a grind there. And then what was it like to make the majors?
Minor league was my college. That was my
Yeah.
college experience right there. I mean, you go into small cities, small towns. I mean, I didn't have a lot of minor league before I got called up, but that was my college life, man. Young guy leaving the house for the first time, but I was ready for it. Like I said, I was ready to take on whatever was ahead of me, and getting drafted and you go into a bunch of guys where everybody was the best on the team. You know, you got first rounders, you got second rounders, you're looking at dudes that's been paid millions of dollars. And I'm coming out of the sixth round and I'm like, all right, let's go. And I was an outfielder too. So, I mean, I had a position player mindset, which I still feel like I keep a position player mindset. I still feel like I'm an athlete. I don't want to be looked at as a pitcher. I like to take the field and somebody look at me and be like, this boy an athlete, you know, not stereotyped as a pitcher. And that's no disrespect to pitchers, but you know, you see some people and you're like, okay, he can't do anything but pitch. I never want to be looked at like that. I want to be looked at like if we go put him in the outfield right now, he can go hold it down and hold his own.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't really get the I mean, I kind of get it, but I don't get like why they say pitchers aren't athletes.
I don't know, man. With the balls, I'll tell you what, you bring everybody to the mound to pitch and you let them balls come back at them. The first thing they say, hey, don't hit the ball back at me. I mean, it's the closest place to the plate where a ball come back at you than anywhere on the field. And somehow we find a way to get out the way sometimes when we can.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know you kept on bringing up like military, and you were born actually in Germany, right?
Right. Born in New
Was
Ulm.
the military your mom or your dad?
My dad was in the military. My dad did 23 years in the Army.
Damn.
So yeah, he did. He paid his dues, paid
And
his
so I wore
dues and some.
my hat today.
Hey, that's dope right there. I see it. I like that camo.
Um, yeah, and just like what keeps you motivated to keep going? I know you're about to go into your 18th season, and you've been an
Right.
all-star series. What keeps you going?
Man, it's the love of the game, man. I mean, like I told somebody the other day, we get to play a kid's game at a higher level and get paid to do it. There's not a lot of people that like the job and enjoy the job that they do, and we have a luxury to go out and play a game that we've been playing as kids and play in front of people and have fun doing it. I know a lot of people like, man, you're lucky you get to play a sport for a game, and it's still hard work if it wasn't everybody in the world to be able to do it. But I mean, it's not too many people who can say they have a job of doing something that they did as a little kid. You don't have that luxury all the time, and when you have it, you got to take advantage of it, man. I mean, I go coach my little kids team. I mean, my son's team, and it just it's a friendly reminder of why we play the game because those kids out there, they 8, 9, 7, 8, 9, and they just having fun. They loose, they're free, and you know that's why we play. We play. We go to have fun. We big kids playing a grown man's game.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I actually had someone on yesterday. He's a pro football player, and he got to play baseball for 1 semester in college, and
Mm.
because they somebody, and he kept on telling them, and he was just like, "Yo, that was the funnest season. Like that was more fun than playing football for 4 seasons."
I'm telling you, man, it's fun. It's fun. Shout out to my boy AD, Adrian Chambers, a little teammate on that World Series team.
Yeah. So before I ask you about like those accolades, I was thinking before like, so you've been on Detroit twice and then Arizona twice now.
Yeah.
Uh,
Nationals
like,
too.
oh,
Nationals
now,
twice too.
okay.
Yeah.
So, so, but the Tigers and the Diamondbacks are like a 10-year span. So, like, I was
Yeah.
thinking from like, imagine if somebody like in the business world goes to a business job and you go there like say 2010 and then you're back there 2020. Like to me, I was like, yo, that'd be like weird as hell. Like, is that like weird? Like 10 years difference?
Man, you talking to a dude who's been on 14 teams, 800 and some teammates. For me, weird is no weird. You know what I'm saying? It ain't. It's not too much that can happen to me in a game that I'm gonna look at and say that's weird.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, I've been around the game. I've seen three eras of baseball. You
yeah,
know, three different eras of baseball. I've seen the game change a few different times. For me, it's a homecoming. It's
yeah,
like a welcome back. You know what I'm saying? It's a welcome back. Welcome back to the city. Especially if it's a city that I had success in. Like Detroit, I had success in Detroit the first time. So I have family in Detroit. AZ is home for me right now. So it's welcome back, man. I'm a big believer. Everything happens for a reason. That's kind of how I live life. I never sit and wonder why things happen. You know, you learn from your mistakes, and you can take it. You can look at an L as a loss or a lesson. I look at L as a lesson. As long as you learn something from it, then you gain something from it. And that's kind of how I live life. I see you, Floyd.
yeah, definitely. It seems like you're a positive guy.
Why not? Life's short, bro. I mean, we face. I mean, I stay surrounded by real people. You know, I keep a real circle, man. I stay in grasp with reality. I mean, this life we live is a fairy tale life. It's a fantasy. It's not really reality what we live. And some people can't differentiate the two. You know, we play baseball, and then when I leave the baseball field, I'm back to being me, but I'm still me at the field at the same time. It's like a double life we live. I mean, we entertainers at the end of the day. We entertainers, you know.
Yeah,
And I feel like the people that they can't take the baseball life and let it be the baseball life and come back to real life. Those are people who are in trouble. Those are people when the game is over, they can't run back to the same friends they had because they done changed.
yeah,
Some people let the game change it, but man, I stay humble and I stay connected with real life, real life situations. So I understand that it's a hard world. So I can have my worst game ever, and that's somebody's dream, bro. At the end of
yeah,
the day.
yeah. Yeah, just going back to teams that you already been on. Is it cool when you see like somebody that still works there for them like 10 years later?
Yeah, it is, man. It's always fun to go back. That's what I say, because a lot of us have funny stories, man, whether it's
Yeah,
something here or there. But it's not too many places I'm not liked, regardless of the stats or regardless what I did for the team, because I'm respected as a person. You know, I treat everybody the same. I've never come in, I've never shit on anybody. I treat everybody with respect. And that's why I say I don't feel like I'm no better than anybody in the clubhouse or in the field. And that's how I earn my respect that way. That's why I say I'm well respected around the game. I see you, DJ Art Form. That's my dog right there. Got a couple of my boys up in here.
yeah. And then in 2009, you're named an All-Star. So what that mean to you to be named an All-Star?
Oh man, that was dope time for me, man. Coming from 2008, going to the World Series with Tampa Bay, I felt like I was just starting to come into my own as a pitcher, and be named to an All-Star team. That was a great honor for me. It was something that I can mark off the bucket list. You know, becoming an All-Star. It's hard to do, especially as a pitcher. I only had 5 wins. I only had 5 wins, but I feel like every other category I was top five in, except for wins. But I mean, you get to play against the best of the best from every team. You know, it's a lot of fun. It's real loose, and you want to go out there and you want to hold your own. You don't want to be the one to say, "Oh man, I got lit up at the All-Star game." That ain't how
Yeah,
you want to be remembered.
yeah, and what? Yeah, and like the managers pick the pitchers, right? Managers and the
Right.
play.
The coaches pick the pitchers.
Yeah, so that I
Yeah.
mean for honor because like that's why like the fan vote is cool, but like sometimes like this year I saw the NBA one was just like wild with the fan votes.
Man, all the time. all the time. I mean, when you do the fan votes, it's crazy because I mean, when you do fan votes, you don't necessarily have to be an all-star. You can be a fan favorite and not have
Yeah.
all-star caliber numbers and still be in an all-star game. So it's kind of tricky with the fan votes. But when the coaches have to pick you and the players have to pick you, then you know you earned that right. You know what I'm saying? You earned that right from guys who opinions within the game, like they see what you're doing and they respect it.
Hmm. Yeah. And then 2010, you threw the no-hitter versus your former team, the Rays.
Yeah, yeah, froze up on me. Yeah,
Oh,
froze up on me.
you there? Oh, yeah. I was
Yeah, yeah.
saying, you pitched a no-hitter versus your former team, the Rays. What was that experience like?
Man, that's that's the craziest, best, most ugliest, most exciting game all in one. I mean, it was the good, the bad, the ugly, the great, all in one game, man. I mean, you throw a no hitter with 8 walks. I'm not sure how many punches I had, but I mean, that doesn't happen a lot, man. 149 pitches, and still out there getting it. But I mean, that's one of the games that I'll never forget, man. I mean, that's probably one of the longest games I've been in, but still ended with an exciting way, and all the fans stayed there too, which made it more special. For the love I get when I go to Tampa Bay, man. I love going to Tampa Bay. That's one of my favorite places to play, and just for the love that I get when I come back, you know, the respect and the love that the fans have for me there, and it's reciprocated very well. And to throw that game against an old team, it was meant to be. It was
Yeah.
meant to be, man.
Yeah, just looked it up. You had 6 strikeouts that game.
6 strikeouts.
Yeah.
Okay, so 6 strikeouts with 9 walks.
Yeah,
What
eight
up?
walks.
You want to come sit with me? Come on, my
So,
little girl, trying to get in the shine. You want to come sit with me? Or come chill
sorry.
with me then. You can chill with me in this interview. Come on. Come on. Put come on. Yeah.
Um, yeah. What did you who was the catcher that night? Let's see.
That was
Oh,
Miguel Montero.
yeah.
Miguel Montero. Yeah, he was on me too. He told me I better have thrown it with all those pitches I threw.
What?
But I mean, it was fun though, man. It was fun. I didn't even know how many pitches I had really. I was just trying to get through the game. I was trying to get out the first inning. I was trying to get to the next inning.
Was there like a play that you thought was like, oh, it's definitely a hit?
Man, I'll tell you what. Uh, I just looked at it the other day, man, and it was a few plays that I'm like, dang. There was a couple plays up the middle, a couple plays at third base that I marked, made some great plays on. LaRoche at first made some good picks. It's always a couple plays in a no hitter where you looking and you like, man, that play saved me right there, saved me. But I had to go back and look at it the other day. I was with my son and we kind of watched it back, and he was YouTubing something. He kind of pulled up on it and we kind of watched it a little bit. And he's like, "You threw a no hitter," and I was like, "Yeah, you know." So he just now coming to that age where he realized what's going on, and he kind of know what's going on in the game, which makes it more fun now because now you when he can realize it, you definitely want to finish it on a note where he can be like, "Okay, this is my dad. This is what
Yeah.
he does. This is his job," you know, and watch how I go about my work.
Yeah. So they know Dad's a beast.
You know, Dad's resilient. Dad doesn't give up, and that's why I try to preach to them like, "Hey, you can't give up in life when things get hard, because that's life. Life is hard. It's not many people that have an easy life, regardless of how much money you have. I think a lot of people they think just because you have a lot of money that life is easy. Hey, when Biggie said, "The more money, the more problems," that was a true line right there. That
But
was a
yeah,
real line,
how do you balance just like playing life and your family life?
man. Um, I like to be me. I'm me. I'm a real person. My friends are real people. I surround myself by a group of dudes that's far from yes men.
Mhm.
If they hold everybody, we hold everybody accountable, regardless of what you do. If I started acting brand new, I have a whole group of friends. They're gonna come back and they're gonna be like, "Hey, bro,
Yeah.
like Like, hey, watch yourself. Like, hey, you doing this or you doing that? You know what I'm saying? So I definitely surround myself by a bunch of dudes, and my friends are far from yes men. And I don't want a yes man in my group. I want somebody that if I do something, they're gonna call me out on it,
Yeah,
and vice versa. And nobody gonna get personal or sensitive about it because we know if somebody call you out, it's something real. You
yeah,
know, and that's how I separate it. Treat everybody the same, bro. It's a
yeah,
game we play.
yeah,
I can go out tomorrow, something happen, God forbid, and never play baseball again, and my
mhm.
people still gonna be there in my corner.
Yeah, definitely. And then, yeah, what was it like to win the World Series with St. Louis?
Man, that's the best feeling in the world. That's the best feeling in the sports. What you play for, you play to win, be the last man standing, and you know, to see that final out being made and running on the field, and you know, everybody turns into a kid again in that moment. You got dudes crying, you got dudes happy, everybody smiling ear to ear. You jumping up, you throwing gloves in the air, you throwing hats in the air, ripping jerseys. That's the best. That's the best feeling in a sports that you can have is being the last man standing on a court, a field, an arena, whatever it may be, and having the world watching.
Yeah. Now, I almost don't want to ask you this question because you've been on so many teams, but like, I might have to ask them in different ways. But who has been, uh, let's see, like the top players you played with, or like most amazing, like
Man,
even something like that, or something that you've seen that you were just like, wow, like this guy is crazy, like good, really good, or something like that, or even
man,
like
that's
you had so many like good managers too.
man, that's I guess that's one of the luxuries I have, man. My list, it's hard to put a top five together because there's been so many people I've played with Hall of Fame players. I mean, I was a teammate with Rickey Henderson. I sat on the bench talking to Rickey Henderson, soaking up the game from him. Man, I mean, I was cool with Carl Crawford, B.J. Upton, D. Gordon. The list goes on from people I done played with. I mean, Miguel Cabrera. I've been with Verlander. I've been with so many people this Scherzer. I've been with so many people this Hall of Famers. I could take
Is one of the most underrated players still.
the most underrated.
Yeah,
I think the most underrated player that I played with. Oh, that's a good question. The most underrated.
the reason why I said Miguel Cabrera because every year when I do fantasy baseball, like when he was in his prime, like nobody picked him in the first round. I was just like, I'll take.
Man, Miguel though. Miguel was Miguel. That dude was literally born to hit. That dude was
Yeah.
born to hit. I mean, I remember I played with Chris L when he first came up he was just coming from maybe A ball. And I told him, like, hey, bro, you're the modern day Randy Johnson. And he laughed at me. And I was like, all right, you're the modern day Randy Johnson. I mean, I've seen Randy Johnson. I played against Randy Johnson, and he laughed at me. I remember telling Kyle Hendricks when he was a rookie, he's like, hey, you're a modern day Greg Maddux. And he laughed at me too. And I'm like, all right, look what they both end up doing. They both end up balling. And I'm like, hey, and I call them now, like, hey, remember you laughed at me when I told you that? And they laughed like, bro. I'm like, I'm just telling you.
Who was the first pitcher you said?
Chris L.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, Chris L.
What about
That's
like who's what about who's like the one of the hardest? It's so hard to ask you these questions, but who's like the hardest that yeah you like struck out before?
man, Barry Bonds.
All right.
Barry
Fair.
Bonds. Faced Barry Bonds when I was just 20. That was my rookie year, and
Yeah.
that's right after watching him hit 99 in the pond in the lake back there in the water. And
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, I gotta face this dude tomorrow. And I walked him. I hit him the first AB on a two strike coming inside. I walked him, and then I struck him out.
All right.
And I think he struck out on purpose, but I got him in the book. But that's probably the most prolific hitter that I've faced and struck out.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a cool strikeout right there.
Hey man, I wish I had that ball. I should have kept it.
Uh, who? Yeah. What about you? Got how many? You got balls from like the no hitter game, right?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I still they gave me a dozen. I'm probably
Okay.
sure I still have probably 7 or 8 game used balls left still.
Yeah. So, um, what about going into a more serious question?
Hold on,
Like,
one second, not to cut you off. The most
yeah.
underrated player I play with, Martin Prado.
All
There it
right.
is.
Yeah, he's a
Prado.
beast.
Prado, watching him day in and day out, he never got, I feel like he never got the respect that he deserved. Underrated player.
Him was- I always get him on my fantasy team too because he always hits for average.
Man, listen here, Martin Prado was, I don't, he never got the acknowledgement that I feel like he deserved. And that dude is a great player.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, the question I was going to ask you, I had Jamal Weeks and James Davison on, which I think you
Uh,
had in. So I
yeah,
asked them like how are they helping grow the baseball with African Americans? Like, how are you going to get more African Americans involved?
man, I think at the end of the day, we have to personally get involved. Like I say, like I helped them do the show, and it's not even helping. I mean, that's just love right there. Those my dogs right there. I mean, since they asked me, there's no hesitation. Boom, let's do it. We as African American players, we have to personally reach out and go to different places when they have camps and when they have different um, sports things going on. We have to go out and they have to see us. We can sit here and we can talk to people. I know my DMs is all kind of people asking me questions all the time, young black players, and it's hard to get to everybody because I don't check my DMs all the time. But when I do have chances, I go back through them sometimes and I answer the questions. I mean, it can get to the point where it's hard to get everyone, but that little 5 seconds or that little minute, it make lifetime impressions on people. Asking a picture answering a question from a picture. How do I do this or how do I do that? I mean, you use social media, and like I tell people, you're not afraid to ask people questions. My social media isn't lit up where I have hundreds of thousands of followers, but when I do have a chance to reach out and answer questions from players. It is not necessarily young black players; it's all players. But um, our African American community, we have to be personally involved in it, and we have to get out and we have to bring them to the fields. I had it where every team I played for, I was doing Edwin Entourage, and I would bring 36 players from urban teams or urban youth facilities, and I bring them out to the field, let them see how we practice, bring them out for warm-ups, and even if you connect with 4 or 5 people, that's 4 or 5 people that you shine the light on that had a chance to experience something that they wouldn't otherwise have a chance to experience coming to a field like that. I never had that chance. I never went to a big league game until I was already drafted. I went to my first major league game. I was already playing with the Dodgers, and it was
Yeah.
just an extended spring training. We went to a Tampa Bay game.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Someone asked, do you recall your 2 home runs that you hit?
My 2 home runs. I do. One, I don't know who the pitchers were, but I know one was a slider 86 and one was a fastball 96 in Cincinnati
How do you
96.
how do you remember that? But you don't remember the pictures?
I don't remember the names, man. But I grew up a position player. I feel like I should have home runs. Like in the minor leagues, I probably have five, 5 or 6 home runs in the minor leagues. It's probably a game I had 2 in one game, but I feel like I was a hitter. I just stopped. Once you stop hitting, it's just getting a rhythm. But I mean, I don't remember the pitches who the home runs were off of, but I just remember the home runs and where they were at.
Has a pitcher ever hit a home run off you?
Man, I gave up a home run in a damn World Series to Joe Blanton, and I
Oh,
think that's, I think that's I've given up a home run to Joe Blanton, and somebody with the Braves hit a home run off me one time. But it happens, man. I mean, pitchers get clipped. There's some
that,
pitchers out there. That's the thing about baseball, bro. If
is
you
that the
connect, if you connected, I mean, it can be the worst feeling. It's the worst feeling. I think it's worse if it's a pitcher that really can't hit. If it's a
yeah
pitcher that can hit, but that just goes to show you the game. Sometimes people get lucky, man. All you got to do is connect and swing it hard, and if you connect the right way, it's gone. That's what makes baseball so crazy. Anybody can hurt you with a bat. It doesn't have to be a big hitter.
yeah definitely. I'm trying to look up who the guy was, but I can't tell what his name was. So it was versus Cincinnati.
Yeah, Mark, I do have a couple home runs, man. I got a lot of just misses though. I got a lot of just misses, a lot of home runs. I just missed them. But like I say, when my scouting report come up, I know pitchers probably saying that he can hit a little bit. Don't just throw him cookies. So as long as I can get my respect, then I'm probably I'm happier about the 10 walks that I have than the 2 home runs, just because I know, hey, pitchers trying to throw me everything, you know.
Yeah. No, I don't. Ask the question again. I didn't see it. T Max Monty. Yeah. What else? During just this quarantine, like, what have you done? Anything that you haven't done? Because obviously now you have time, but we can't really do much. But is there anything that you've done that you were like putting back just because you never had time to do?
Not really, but I tell you what, in 6 years, I live at this house. I've been in the pool more in 6 years than I've been. I mean, more during this quarantine than I've been in the 6 years.
Well,
Uh,
that's
Now these kids have me in the pool every day, so I'm finally getting some use out of the house.
yeah.
Being able to be home with the family. I mean, I was just talking to my cousin today. Uh, he out here now, Tony Max. We were just talking today. He's like, bro, when the last time you been home in May? And I was like, that's a good question. I haven't. So I'm soaking up this family time,
Yeah.
being home with the family and the kids, and that's what helps me get by, man. I mean, I think about baseball, but it's not the only thing on my mind. I'm just enjoying the family, taking everything a day at a time, and I'll be ready when everything gets back normal if it does.
Uh, Tony Max 7 said, "Tell him."
You gotta ask me that on a good day. You gotta ask me that when it's biting. Don't ask me when it's hanging.
What about what's the best rotation you've ever been in?
Man, the best rotation. Man, that's a good one. I mean, I had a rotation. We had a rotation in the Nats. There was pretty fire. You had Strasburg, you had Gio, you had myself, you had Detweiler, um, and you had who else? I just went blank. We had everybody throwing 94, 95. You had
Yeah,
the whole
was
team throwing 94, 95. Say what?
Gio Gonzalez was on the team then or no?
That was with the Nationals. Yeah, Gio was on there. I mean, we had everybody throwing gas. We had a squad with we had a nice rotation with St. Louis too, man. Had a nice rotation with St. Louis that year we won the World Series. But honestly, I like the Tampa rotation we had too, man. And 2008 was a nice little rotation too. It took us through the AL East. Casimir, Garza, Shields, Sonestein, myself. We had a nice little rotation. Jason Hamill was on that rotation. We had a nice rotation that year.
Oh, someone said, do you remember that you never beat the Columbus High School Blue Devils?
All right, but I'll tell you what, T Money. In 2001, we ran Columbus. Yeah, that's my boy from back at the crib, rival high school, man. And us in Columbus, Shaw and Columbus every year, it was going to be us two battling against each other. But when I was younger, they got us. But when we got older, when I was my senior year, we ran the town in. We ran the town.
Yeah, he said, but they won the championship that year.
Yeah, that year they did. That year they beat us that year, but it didn't count. I wasn't a senior year. I didn't start that year. I didn't start that year. But the senior year we held it down for the city. But we had some I just want to say we were facing dudes throwing 92, 93. That's high school. Like we were facing dudes that was throwing gas. Like it wasn't people throwing 80, 83 and 82 and 81. We had some dudes throwing hard.
Yeah. What about who are some pitchers that like helped you along the way, throwing new pitches, just teaching you like how to pitch, just in general?
Man, I mean, coming up, Gagne took me under the wings and kind of got in my mind a little bit and got in my head and teaching me the ropes about everything. And along the way, man, I try to take information from everyone that I could. I mean, half of the time, um, it would be younger pitchers. It'd be pitchers I was saying, whether it was Shields, whether it was Chris Carpenter, whether it was Kyle Loesch, every team that I went on, man, I was trying to get information from other people or how you hold this pitch or how you throw this pitch. The only, I mean, doesn't have to be an older dude. It can be a younger dude. Even now, I ask some these dudes, how you hold this pitch, how you throw that. That's one thing about pitching, man. You never stop learning in the game of pitching. You always evolving. You always trying to learn something new as a pitcher. And the day you don't, it'll probably be the day you stop playing.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, I feel you now that I'm getting older. I'm 28, but
Right.
now, like, and it almost kind of feels weird to me when I ask someone younger what they're like. I'm like, oh, how are you doing this? Like,
Right. I'm telling you,
kind of.
man, the game is steady evolving.
Was Mariano Rivera on the All-Star team that year?
He was. Matter of fact, I just looked in the All-Star bag and I had a hat signed from him that I didn't even know I had.
Uh,
I forgot I had a hat signed from him.
did you
Yeah.
ask him?
I didn't, man. I was young. I was younger still. I was like, man, that's Mariano Rivera. I felt like I was already pushing it, just asking for an autograph. But I was like, what the hell? Only thing he can say is no. But let me try to get this autograph while I can. But I saw on the internet when I think it was Doc Holliday had asked him how he held his cutter, and it was a picture of how he held the ball. But I mean, the thing is, people can show you how to hold grips. You still have to make your little small adjustments to your arm angles and to your release point and all that.
Yeah. Someone asked who was the funniest in the dugout that you played with.
Man, whew, Octavio Dotel is funny. That dude is crazy in the dugout. D Gordon is crazy in the dugout. I mean, when I say you talking trash, this boy is talking trash the whole game, like the whole game, nonstop. He in there, he talking. Even on the opposing side, he talking. I can hear when I'm facing him and I'm pitching against their team. He's still in the dugout talking. That dude right there, he probably one of the highest energy dudes in the dugout that I know.
Yeah, it's funny. Um, oh, what about like I just saw I was just watching a podcast and CC Sabathia was interviewing Archie Bradley,
Nah,
and he said like CC was like one of his like idols growing up, and he asked the clubby for his jersey because it was his last year, and
nah.
he's like, you have to write him a note, and he was like what, and he was so because all the notes I guess, so like has there
Yeah.
so what do you did you do a lot of jersey exchanges?
Now you know what? I feel like over the last probably like the last 5 years, I just started getting more jerseys. I feel like younger, man. I never wanted to bother anybody. I never
Yeah,
wanted to mess with anybody. I always felt weird about asking somebody for something like, man. And now I look back and over the last 5 years, I started asking more people for jerseys. But it's probably a lot of times I probably could have got some dope signatures
yeah,
in my jersey collection. But I like people to make them personal. But if you've seen all my notes and all my stuff on the jerseys, it's funny, man. It's half of the stuff I wouldn't even be able to put out on social media just because people be like, he really wrote that on a jersey, So I like to be able to look at them and be like, man, this right here, it really feels personal, you know what I'm saying? It's not for resale. It's for my collection that I can look back and laugh about it.
like a yearbook.
I was telling you, like a yearbook. I got a lot of jerseys too, man. I appreciate that, Sophia. I appreciate the support.
What about, is there anybody's that you haven't got yet that you really want to get?
Man, I got a Griffey jersey that I still have to get signed. I have his jersey and I have the jersey, but I just have to get him to sign it. And I asked him about it, and he's like, "Yeah, get it to me." But I just haven't seen him yet to get it signed. I got a Rickey Henderson I got to get signed too. I know
Yeah,
Ricky doesn't sign a lot of people's jersey, but I told him he's gonna sign my jersey. So when I see him again, I'm gonna get that jersey signed too, man. That'll be a dope one to have.
yeah. What about what do you like to do when you're not playing baseball?
Man, when I ain't playing baseball, I'm a 24-hour parent. These kids, man, these kids nonstop. Like when I come home, this the real day right here. The baseball is the easy part. When I come home, that's the real work because they don't care if you done had a good day, bad day. They like, Daddy, let's do this. Daddy, let's do that. You like, you don't know, Daddy just gave up 10 runs in 5 innings, huh? They don't care. They like,
Yeah,
Daddy, let's go play. But at the same time, that make it shows you real life. It's the real perspective on what's really important in my life. Baseball is important, obviously, but it's not as important as my kids and my family. So that's what helps me get along through the bad days of baseball. I can come home and these kids have a big smile on their faces, and it kind of, it helps cheer you up.
Yeah, definitely. What's you want them to play baseball and softball?
You know what? I want them to do whatever they want to do. Just do it 100%. If they want to play baseball, fine. If they don't, I have no care in the world. My oldest, he likes to play baseball. He likes to play football. Is he super serious about it? No. He likes chess. He's super smart. He's super brainy. So I play him in chess. My daughter, she is the wild child. She likes soccer. She likes to flip. She likes gymnastics. She's kind of crazy. So she'll play her sports. And my youngest dude, he's a beast. He's the one to just pick up whatever ball he wants and he can do it. So he probably play, but I just want them all to do whatever they want to do, man. I don't put a lot of pressure on my kids. I feel like a lot of people in the world living life through their kids. They having their kids do all this stuff that they couldn't do just because they see, okay, maybe he can get drafted, maybe he can go make millions, maybe he can, but I mean, there's so many people that play the game right now that hate the game that it's amazing that people have no clue. I'm like, damn, how you making all this money? You this good and you hate the game. And I feel like half of it is because it's been forced upon them. They didn't have that luxury of just choosing it themselves to go play.
Yeah, put them in everything, see what they like, and then boom.
Exactly. Put everything in front of them, and they're going to gravitate towards what they like. They're going to let
Yeah,
you know what they like.
yeah, definitely. I got some fun questions for you. Are you ready?
I got you.
When you're making cereal, do you put the milk in first or the cereal in first?
Cereal. I
The
put the
cereal in first?
cereal in first. Yeah, the cereal in first.
You're good in my book then, right there. What
You got to
about
put it.
I never realized this. Somebody asked me this question. Is it your toilet paper have to be like over or like under?
I like it over. I like it over. And I'm always switching it. If it's under, I'll switch it to over. I feel like over easier to pull. It's easier to pull and rip.
What about like on a peanut butter and jelly, grape jelly or strawberry jelly?
Strawberry. Strawberry. I feel like I had grape my whole life, so I switched up to strawberry as soon as I could.
All right. Um, what's your favorite song right now?
Man, right now I'm jamming that Cartier Bus by Jabo. Jabo
Huh?
ENT. That's been on my playlist. It's been in rotation right now. Shout out to
What
Jabo ENT. Y'all go check him out.
is it? He a local artist?
Nah, he's back in Atlanta. Back in
Oh, okay.
Atlanta. Yeah, he fired. He got some dope music. He got some dope music.
Yeah. How do you pick out your like your run out song?
Man, I let it come to me. I let it come to me. Depends on where I'm at, the demographic. And I kind of let it come to me. I mean, as you listen to the songs in the playlist, different songs hit you different ways. So when it's a song that hits me in a way that I know, like, oh, okay, I can get this on the field, and I can have everybody jamming too. I also want the team. I want the team to reciprocate it too, and I want them to feel the vibe that I feel, so everybody can be out there bouncing at the same time. And also for the fans, like I was in Oakland,
Yeah.
it made sense for me to have something from my guy that I know makes music, but it was Oakland, so I was like, okay, it's Oakland, I have to do something that's Oakland, and I
Yeah.
came out to Pilo. And
Uh,
and it was like, and I couldn't believe it. And the dude was like, "Man, you the first person on the team to come out to some Oakland music." I'm like, "It's Oakland. Like you have to have that Oakland crowd into the game when you come out in Oakland."
yeah. What about have you had any like crazy fan moments, like them coming up to like just running up on you?
Man, I've had a couple. I've had a couple instances. I had a time that I ran into a dude out at a bar that was talking trash to me in the game that night. Same night, he was talking trash over the dugout, and I ran into him in the bar in the bathroom. I looked over. I was like, "Oh yeah, you the same dude that was talking trash at the game, huh?" He's like, "Oh," and he kind of like sobered up, and he's like, "Oh man, oh it was just fine," you know what I'm saying? So it's a small world. That was probably one of the funniest moments I had though, running into somebody that was talking trash at the game.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, that's fun. I mean, yeah, that's how all these people are, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's the
They,
game, man. As long as I mean, I expect trash talking, just don't take it personal. But then we
yeah,
come from a city where you had to joke back. So
yeah,
I grew up where if you couldn't joke back, then you weren't gonna make it too long. So I joke back. I mean, I keep it tasteful, I keep it respectful, but I'm gonna get my jokes back in.
yeah, definitely. What about who's like a teammate that you had like the craziest handshake with?
Man, I don't know if I done had a lot of crazy handshakes. Man, that's a good question. I don't think I done had too many crazy handshakes for real, for real.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not a real big handshake guy where I have a whole bunch of crazy handshakes.
All right. Well, last one. So I asked you a lot of questions. Do you have any questions for me?
Man, what made you want to do this interview?
I've been a big baseball fan all my life, and you pretty much. I've always seen you. I'm a Yankees fan, so when you were at Tampa,
Okay,
that's probably how I knew
man.
back in the day.
Okay, yeah. We done had some long battles with the Yankees, man. Some good, some bad, but we love going to New York. New York, they talk more trash than anybody aside from Philly, so it's always fun going in there when you can quiet down 34,000, 35,000 people and have them kind of chill where they can't really talk. Because when they do have a chance to talk, they're gonna let you know they in the house.
My boy Ryan said no more handshakes because of the Rona.
I'm telling you, everybody doing elbows. You're gonna see all kind of elbows and boom. You know, it's gonna be all kind of stuff. Everybody gonna do the masks and whatever they want to do.
Well, I appreciate you coming on, and best of luck. And hopefully MLB season comes back. That it's safe enough to come back at least.
I'm telling you. Shout out to Windy City too. I see you, bro.
There it
Yeah,
is.
shout out to my dog JD. But no, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, man. It's always a pleasure being on here, man. Catching up, talking baseball, talking life.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, stay
Uh,
safe. We'll be talking.
all right, bet.
All right, I'll see you.